Welcome to the 7997 podcast. We're your hosts, Chris and Jacki. Oh, don't you usually jump in with something right here?
I was just going to be a nice little person and just be all patient and stuff.
That's
but hey, y'all.
And what we are trying to accomplish here is for us to get closer to each other and hopefully closer to you.
Yes. Sometimes you got to mix it up, y'all. I really was going to just shut my mouth and just let it roll.
Speaking of just letting it roll, we wanted to talk about a situation that happened in the world of NBA basketball.
Yeah,
this was a couple months ago, maybe. In the midst of a game, NBA champion, long time. I don't know all the accolades. You probably got, if you watch basketball, you know the name Kawhi Leonard. You probably know him as a great player, highly skilled, but generally tends to be known as being very unemotional, robot-like sometimes. One of the funniest laughs you'll ever hear, if you ever want to hear somebody have a funny laugh. But there was a point in the game, I think they were playing Dallas. I'll insert the clip here. And as you saw in the clip, Kawhi goes in, gets the lob, dunks the ball, and just hangs on the rim for a little while.
Let go.
Coach called a timeout. He's like, I ain't got no place to be. I'm just going to hang out here for a minute.
Just chilling, like, oh, look at here.
Look what I found.
It's a bird nest.
Yeah. Just enjoying the moment, I guess.
So weird.
But we wanted to kind of go over what did we think was going through Kawhi Leonard's head as he's hanging on the rim, just chilling out.
Just hanging.
Because
literally.
The whole time he had that straight face that he always had, no emotion. I'm sure there was some thought going through his head. So what is your first hypothesis of what was going through Kawhi Leonard's head as he was hanging like a Christmas ornament from the basketball rim?
Trying to get fined so he can go sit down somewhere? No. So for some of you who may not know, I have a yearning, a itching,
That's what we call in the business a callback to a previous joke. If you've been around since the very first episode,
y'all gotta go watch it.
Jonesing for burgers.
Jonesing for burgers.
Go back and watch that one. I'll link it in the top there in the card.
I started out so well, and then I just started cutting up.
It got you.
You're welcome. No, so I have a love for helping people and problem solving, and I have actually been a corporate coach, and they called me the agent whisperer back in the day, the way I would help people. And so with that, I went and got a psychology degree after my culinary degree. And so I look at things in a why kind of a way. And I always go for the head or the heart. Like, what's going on, right? And emotionally, or what have they been through to make them react to that, or what have you. And I'm also a teacher. So something you may not know really about me is that I also compute things in a learning, like in a lesson kind of a way.
Yeah.
What is this trying to teach me? Or what can I learn from said situation so that I can help somebody else?
So what did you learn from this situation?
Well, I don't necessarily know that I learned anything, but what I deduced was he was afraid. And that was the biggest thing for me, was what was he afraid of? And I found out he was coming off an injury. He was coming off of a knee injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so I was just sitting there thinking like, dang, here this man is hanging there because he's afraid. He is afraid of re-injuring himself. He is, I don't know, I thought they taught him how to land, how to fall so that they won't hurt themselves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But here, like you said, in the lead up, championship winner, and he was an integral part of that team.
Yeah, he was the reason they won the championship.
Literally, right?
Yeah.
So he wasn't the ninth man.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was a starting lineup. Okay. And so
Also, I think Klay Thompson and somebody else were hurt on the Warriors. So I'm just taking away from his greatness right now for no reason. I'm sorry. Get back to it.
how petty.
No, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. My apologies, Kawhi.
Oh my gosh.
Your championship was deserved.
It was well deserved. It was a good. I remember that. It was really fun. But anyway, seriously, I was sitting there just thinking, like, broadening it out. What am I afraid of? What are you afraid of? What are other people afraid of? Where they will not let go. You know what I mean? And so they can have a landing, so they can come down from where they are and get moving, shaking and baking. You know what I'm saying? Get to the next thing. You know, I just found it to be so intriguing.
It's also like, what have you healed from and gotten past, but don't have the faith in the healing? You think that, I've gotten past this, I've healed from it, but you're avoiding putting yourself in that situation again because you don't think you are strong enough.
You better
to get over what might break again.
Yeah.
In his situation, it was a need.
Yeah.
But someone else, it might be, picking a poor relationship or, whatever the case may be.
Hurt feelings.
Yeah.
No, I think you make a good point. Because you really don't. You're like, okay, cool, I'm good. But let so-and-so roll up. You're like, I guess I wasn't as good as I thought. Let me be hanging from the rim, I guess I'm not as good as I thought. You know what I mean? Let the phone ring. You see that call ID, like, then something comes up, right? Something comes up.
You think you've been, I've been eating good and eating healthy, and I can go past the bakery and not have to stop until you
walk past.
You walk past and you see that place with the cinnamon rolls that you like so much. You're like, I can stop in and have one. It's okay.
You get triggered.
And then you realize you weren't, delivered. You weren't healed from that desire for sugar to share. I don't know. But for me, I think, to me, I see there's sort of two sides of what Kawhi may have been thinking about as he was hanging from the rim. In the moment, I think they were down by 11, 12 points. They weren't playing very well. In the moment, it felt like, I got this big, exciting alley-oop, and I dunked it. But we still down 12. Like, it's not so exciting when you're still losing the game and you're not playing well. And then I think long-term, he's coming to the end of his career. So it could be thinking of, just came off this knee surgery. My knee is feeling all right. I'm going to test it out. Boom, I got this lob alley-oop. But is this the last one maybe I do? Maybe this is my last season. Maybe, I'm going to retire. Because ended up further in the playoffs, he ends up getting hurt again. So, he could have even been foreshadowing, looking to the future and seeing that, I feel healthy right now, but really how long can I keep doing this? Could have been just a moment of introspection into his current mental state, health state of his career, and just thinking about, maybe that was the point where he made the decision of, I want to retire. I'm going to retire in a year or two. Or because at the end of every season, LeBron James always kind of puts everybody in this limbo of, is he going to retire? Is he not going to retire? And he'll throw out, little subliminal signals on Twitter or whatever. Make it seem like he's thinking about retiring. But maybe Kawhi's not that kind of guy to put his business out there. Like when he retires, I feel like he's going to walk out there and be like, hey,
last day.
I'm retired. See you guys.
I gave him my 2-week notice.
I'm going. He's going to be out, and you'll never see him ever again.
Right.
So I just think it was a moment of contemplation about his career, his life, his journey.
Wow.
Where he may end up in the future.
Wow.
But maybe it was scared to land on his knee.
Maybe he was scared.
I don't know.
I think he was scared.
Do you have any other theories?
No, I really think he was scared.
Okay.
Yeah. And he just got stuck, like a lot of us do. He just I'm in this situation and got paralyzed by fear. That's really what I think happened.
Is there a situation where you have been stuck hanging on the rim?
Sure have.
Why are you looking at me like I did something?
Yes. No, I've shared a lot with y'all. You tell me a time when you've gotten stuck on the rim and you've been scared.
When I was stuck on the rim and scared to let go?
Let go.
I think that's a tough one for me. I don't feel like I'm ever scared to move forward because I generally don't think about it as much. But if I look at it as when is there a moment when I've been hurt that I was scared to jump back in? I don't know if this is a direct translation to that situation, but just I think when I came to the end of my cooking career, understanding that, you know, I guess in that situation, the hurt was me being in situations where I wasn't exercising my creativity with food, which is why I got into it. So feeling like being in these soulless cooking environments, you know, working in really crappy hotels, working in school cafeterias, at some point it breaks you of that desire to be creative with food. It's not something you have to exercise. It's not a muscle that you're, you know, repeatedly, you know, pulling weight against. So you start to lose it. So, you know, at that point when I was, you know, had kidney failure, working in a cafeteria, went on disability, you know, I had the ability to reset to some extent. And I could have reset and said, you know, how do I rekindle this, you know, desire for
your like and love for cooking.
Doing like a love for cooking for sure, having creativity with food. Or I could do something else that I actually did have that desire and creativity and love for. And I chose not to go back down that path. I chose to move forward for many reasons, because I think at that point I knew what it took to be creative in food. Whereas when you're first starting out, you don't fully understand it.
Very green.
Yeah. You don't understand the amount of effort that it takes, the amount of sacrifice that it takes for you and your family. So like once that spirit was broken, there was no way I was going to jump back in and land on that knee. Like I was not.
You didn't want to go work 12-hour days?
No, I didn't want to go
weekends
work,
and holidays?
Like 12-hour days
Count
sitting
chickens.
at a desk versus 12-hour days in the kitchen on a concrete floor all day.
Count chickens?
Counting chickens, counting
shrimp,
apples.
Doing time cards? And
Waste
sheets?
Not fun.
No.
So yeah, I would say that would probably be my moment of I don't want to land on this knee again. I don't want that thing to crack open. So like, you know, my love and creativity for food now, I can do it home when I feel like it. When I go into the grocery store, I go into the market and I see something that inspires me and I want to cook. What, you have something to say? Why are you leaning in?
How often do you get creative?
Not as often as maybe you'd like me to. But you know,
Let's be 1,000% honest.
if you follow the metaphor, it's like, you know, you playing basketball. Once those knees go out, you're not jumping up and dunking like you used to no more.
Let me tell y'all, Uber Eats, they have some stuff on there.
Now I appreciate the creativity in food
Of
that
others.
There we go. Yes.
Hey.
Like we went to eat out at an Indian restaurant called Gar, who has a new chef who just came in, and the chef was testing out stuff and has a brand new menu. And he was going to do some event that he was testing out stuff, and he brought out some food to us for us to try.
So good.
And you could see his excitement, and like I could connect with his excitement about the food.
Right.
And he was explaining to us the concepts behind it, and this is why he did it. And, you know, that to me was exciting because I know that excitement firsthand. Like I know that feeling of, hey, I'm trying to conceive this dish. And like I'm drawing from, you know, a Indian rice pudding, but now it's in this environment and it's hot, so it's not going to be warm. It's going to be cool. We're going to have certain spices and elements with it because that's local. And like just his fervor and his joy of cooking and passion. It was refreshing, wasn't it? It was refreshing.
Yeah. It was more refreshing being seated and eating the refreshing ideas.
Yes. And having to come up with them yourself. Yes. And while it's a city full of, great restaurants, you don't always get the opportunity to talk to the chef and have a conversation that is engaging with the chef.
That is so true.
So that was just a nice change of pace because I know there's probably plenty of chefs in town that feel that way, but they don't necessarily get the opportunity to come out the kitchen and share it maybe the way they want to, or maybe we're just not in those environments. So yeah, that was my,
your takeaway.
My takeaway, my moment of fear and not wanting to repeat the mistakes of the past and reopen any wounds and hurt and break a knee by falling on it. So hopefully this, you'll go back and watch a little bit more sports, a little bit closer. There's always a lesson to be learned in everything.
Always a lesson.
Just by someone hanging on the rim.
The brother was hanging.
Just a little too long.
Just hanging.
There was some layers in there.
What's something going on?
I'd love to be able to ask him that question.
Seriously.
If one of y'all know Kawhi out there,
Mr. Leonard,
say, hey, can we get him on the podcast?
Please. There's 6 degrees of separation. Somebody know him.
Somebody knows him.
Y'all drop a comment.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Buy us a coffee.
Iced coffee. It's like 100 degrees here.
Watch another video.
Yeah, and share.
Yeah.
And by this time y'all see us, we should be over 400 subscribers.
We definitely should be.
So we just say thank you.
Yes.
Muchos gracias. Hey, cuidate.
Adios, Garce. Take care and take a chance. And when I say take a chance, I mean actually take some time and go watch the video.
He being selfish.
The compilation of our time we've had in Mexico that I'm going to share at the end of this video.
Yeah.
So enjoy that.
He worked so hard on y'all. Y'all go and look at it.
And we'll see you guys next time. Peace, y'all. This is the 7997 Podcast, your home for raw and honest conversation, featuring Chris and Jacki, with new episodes every Sunday, wherever you get your podcasts.